Hello, it's Nikki and welcome to a brand new episode. This is going to be a chunky one. I'm not quite sure how chunky yet. If it is going to be chunky, how many times can I say the word chunky? I will chunk it down into 2 episodes, but we'll see how we go. It may just work well as one complete episode. This is an exercise for you if you just feel like things need to be shaken up a little bit, or perhaps they need tightening up a little bit. And this is what can happen when we get really busy, or when we become overwhelmed, or other stuff is going on, like 2020, all that kind of jazz. And this is a really good point of remembering why you're doing what you're doing and getting to a place where clarity is leading the way. Because if you have clarity, it just starts to make sense, basically, because it doesn't mean to say that it's not going to be hard or it's not going to be challenging. Some things in my business I am crystal clear about. I know exactly what I want to do or how to do it. Does that mean it's easy though? No, not necessarily. So if we can get to that point of clarity, it will make things easier rather than just feeling foggy and feeling like your to-do list is never ending and you just can't put one foot in front of the other. So today, I want to take you through this exercise around non-negotiables. And I've really learned that in my business, in my personal brand, no matter what anybody else is doing out there, the buck stops with me. I can be the only person that controls how I show up, how I deliver, how I perform, I guess, the impression that I give, the energy I leave. I am the only person who can be in control of that. And it's really important that I pay really close attention to it, because that piece, that way of being, is actually what's going to lead to more work. Because yes, I am good at what I do, but also the fact that I'm a nice person makes me be hired again, or the fact that we have a lovely time together. That's why my clients stay with me for many, many years. There's some people that I've been working with for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. There's a step song in there somewhere. That's why people keep hanging around, because I want to make people feel good. That's really important in terms of my value system. So this is really important as well if you're feeling overwhelmed with the amount of people who are doing something similar to you on the internet. Because we can all feel it sometimes. We're like, yeah, but what would I even have to say? How am I going to stand out? Am I just another blogger, coach, social media person, designer, whatever it might be? Are you just another? And the answer is absolutely no. This is about you really refining what you do and showing how you can show up and bring your magic. So I've got a couple of things that I want to share with you before we really get into the detail of it. And I want you to really think about the person that you're becoming. I know we're going straight in there with the profound questions. And I do this on a regular basis of really trying to operate from the person who has the answers, the person who is committed to the vision, the person who isn't necessarily scared. And sometimes when I'm in a dilemma of is it this or is it that? Where am I going with this? I try and fast forward in my mind and visualize the person that I'm becoming. So sometimes I'll go, a year from now, where would I hope to be in my business, in my life? What's going to be happening? Obviously, the things that you can control, pandemic aside. But what is she doing? How much more confident would she be? How much more accomplished would she be? And I really try and connect with that version of myself and make decisions from there. Also, this act as if or fake it till you make it brings up lots of conversation. So sometimes people will say, well, just fake it till you make it. Imagine you're a millionaire. Just go into Gucci and buy a bag. And even if you have to put it on a credit card, it's absolutely going to be fine. And I have lots of things to say about that, but I think it is about an energy for me. It's not necessarily about faking that lifestyle and going, oh my goodness, I just have champagne every single night of the week. I don't, by the way. That would be really lovely. But I've got fish to fry, I've got things to do. If I was having Champagne Friday every single day, I probably wouldn't be showing up in the best way. But really thinking about acting as if can be a great leveler, I guess, because it helps you connect with your actions, with your habits, with your energy, with your vibe. And I'll come into that a little bit more. Also, another question that my coach asks me all the time is, how you do anything is how you do everything, or how you do everything is how you do anything. And this really called out all my you-know-what. Because the thing is, if I let myself, I have loads of excuses, like millions, ready up my sleeve, ready to go, it's like the lottery. Release the balls. Here come the excuses. Whoa. I'm too tired. I'm too old. I'm not ready yet. I'm dealing with the kids. There's coronavirus. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I am just, now is not the right time. I have all of the things. And if I'm not careful, I get behind on things because I'm somebody who is never short of big ideas and the next thing. And I get so caught up in the creativity. And if I'm not careful, things will start to slip. And I have to be really aware of that. And I do feel like over the last few years, I've really got a grip of that. But I didn't used to be, rather, a great completer finisher, so I'd get wrapped up in the creativity and then I'd be on to the next thing. And actually, I've really taught myself to go, whoa, hold back, check in, what's going on. So this is one of the things that comes up a lot, especially when I have discovery calls with people. So I'm going to give one example, that somebody who was saying all the things that she hated about the industry that she was in, all the things that were annoying. But that was her story. It wasn't coming from a powerful place of like, right, so this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to cut through all the nonsense. This is how I'm going to make a difference. And so she was getting caught up in that negativity. And so how that would move forward is suddenly, if she was just telling me that, somebody she wanted her to help, wanted help from, she was probably going to be telling that to the person at the doctor's or on the school run or a family friend. So she was bringing that energy into everything that she did. So what we're going to do now, and feel free to grab a pen and paper, and this is going to be here for you whenever you need it. And you can use it actually, and these sort of questions will come up again and again. So this is about a check-in. Number one, who are you? Who do you help? And what do you help them with? I want you to see how quickly that rolls off your tongue. And if you're hesitating, and if you're like, oh, I kind of maybe female entrepreneurs, people in business, when they're struggling with, if you're responding in that way, it's giving you all of the clues. And that's not to say that you're like, oh, I'm not very good at making decisions, or, oh, maybe I should start another business, or maybe like I'm just not very good at being visible or saying who I am or anything like that. No, it's just saying you need clarity. You need to check in, and there's a bit more work to be done. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is what we're here to do. This is how I'm here to support you, is to just check in and go, is this being as clear as it could be? And if it's not, and if it's not clear to me, I probably need to iron some things out and get a bit quicker at saying that. So that's my first question. Are you being really clear? Are you able to say it with grace, with power, with integrity, with discernment? Are you able to deliver that in a slick way? If not, spend some time, book yourself an appointment with your bathroom mirror, or take it on a walk, or introduce yourself as you're cooking the dinner, maybe if other people are in the house or not, but really get clear on what's going on for you. Because then what will happen, if you know you can say it in real life, you'll be able to say it online. You'll be able to make the tweaks that you need to make on your website. You'll be able to update that bio on your social media. You'll be able to do all of the things. Secondly, I want you to question how you're showing up. And I want you to firstly think about the areas where you're really excelling, where you're like, I'm feeling really good about that. I'm feeling really happy with the way that that's going. But also, I want you to explore the other things. Perhaps the plates that were spinning really well and now they're a bit wonky and now there isn't quite as much flow there. I want you to look at that. So I want you to check in with your energy. Are you showing up in the way that you want to? Are you giving, I was going to say the performance, and it's not a performance, the presence, I guess. Are you giving the presence that you want to? And there's a fine line here, and you will know what that line is for you. I believe that if you're, I'm being really careful in the way that I say this, and I hope you'll take it in the right way. So over the years, I've had to go and audition a lot. And I have had to learn that as a skill in itself. Where you go in, you expect to be rejected sometimes, but it's very much in a way, it's nothing personal. They know what they're looking for, or sometimes they don't, and you just happen to be that person. And I've learned over the years that actually people weren't that interested in how you were feeling, what was going on for you. All they were interested in was, can you do the job? And in this world of social media where everyone's like, I just want to show the real me and I want to talk about all these things and I want to share how my marriage is really tricky, or I want to do a #vulnerable post. I want you to check in and I want you to really assess what's necessary, and if it is necessary, what percentage of that is you showing up? Is that growing your business? If you're there for personal reasons, or as an activist, or something else, absolutely, then your content, your way of showing up, your presence should probably be much more mixed. But if you're looking to grow a business, if you're there to connect with people, if you're there to support your clients, if you're there to be a thought leader or an expert, you have to be really mindful about how you show up. And I find this, and so this is kind of my dilemma sometimes, is I will quite often go on Instagram stories and I might be in my Jimmy Jams, but people need to know, maybe they don't, that I'm a working mum. And I've always found this balance of how much do I want to show my kids? And the answer is probably not loads and loads, but I do a little bit, because it's really important for people to know, especially if I'm standing in the place of I'm a working mum and I'm working this around my children. It's important that people go, oh, she does actually see her children. Oh, right, okay, so family life isn't always picture perfect. Sometimes Nikki does get tired. That's important. But am I starting every single day on social media going, hi guys, I'm absolutely exhausted. I've had a really rough night. Do I spend my energy and my time and my platform sharing all of those things? No, not really, because nobody's bothered. So I have to make sure that I've got space to be able to expel those things in other ways, whether that's talking to my partner or going on a run or those sorts of things. So when I actually show up as my business, I'm there. I'm sharp. I can deliver. I'm coming from a full place that can give. So I want you to check up, how's your energy? How's your vibe? How's your commitment? Oh, I know. And already you'd be like, yeah, I said I would commit to that and I just haven't done it. Or the people who do that, oh, I would love to go out for lunch and yeah, I'm definitely there. Give me a call next time. We all know those people, right? Who are just a bit flaky. We're not quite sure what they're up to, but they're really keen in the moment. But their word and their delivery is probably quite far apart. And actually in my life, I try and show up so the two are quite close together. So I'm really thinking about that commitment right now. I'm thinking about that delivery to my clients as well, and how I show up, and am I being really true to who I want to be in the world. The next thing I want you to think about is your money. Is it flowing? Is there a way that this is a complex one, isn't it? How are you feeling about it, basically? Is it coming in? Are you spending it? What's that relationship like at the moment? Are you paying attention to it? Is it in abundance, or is it something that's causing you stress? So imagine it was a person or an energy or a spirit, or however you want to refer to it at the moment. Are you treating it really nicely? Are you paying attention to it? Are you valuing it? Are you noticing it? I want you to check in with those. The reason that I say this, and I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an accountant, but the reason that I say this is if you're asking for people to pay you, it's really important that you know what's going on with your own money. It's an energy exchange. It's one of those things like, when you see body language experts, and if one person is going into a conversation with open arms and the other person is standing there with a scowl on their face and they've got their arms folded, it's probably not going to be a match because the two feel so far apart. So how can you start to really open up that flow of money and that exchange and all those good things? The next thing I want you to look at are your updates. And I always found this at drama school, that sometimes we would get some really great experts, like amazing people who had been in the industry for years, and they would want to come in and they would have very dramatic voices, and they would be sitting on a plastic chair, but you can imagine that'd be like, oh, if I could bring my own leather chair with a pipe and a tartan blazer, that would be incredible. They were real characters, basically, eccentric, brilliant human beings. But one thing I found sometimes was, even though I admired and I listened and I took what I wanted to take from their experience and their stories, sometimes I found it really dated. Sometimes I was like, oh, but your advice is 30 years old. And there's something to be said for that. But sometimes we see this in business, don't we? Where we want to grow something online and we ask, your dad's friend or something. And they're like, oh, no, love, you can't make money on the internet. And you're like, I think you can, mate. Steve, I actually think you can. So it's one of those things that for me, I've always been really aware of it. And I've put sharpening my sword and honing my craft right to the top. So I've recently just signed up for, so I'm working with a coach for a year. And also I've recently signed up to do the Good Gram with my pal, Lucy Sheridan. And because I want to up my Instagram game, there's things that I need to do. There's balls that I'm dropping within that. And I need to up my game, especially because it's coming up with clients a lot. And I want to push forward with that. So really check in. Are you updating things? Have things become a bit stale? Have you become a bit comfortable? There's an episode a few moments back where I'm talking about how when I'm sharing these things, I'm standing up because I got really comfortable. I got a bit relaxed in the chair and I was like, no. Let's bring some freshness to this, especially at this time when, we're feeling like we should be hibernating and all the rest of it. The next one, your network is your net worth. I want you to check in with the conversations that you're being party to. And this is not to say, right, I don't like you anymore. You can't be in my friendship circle. You, family member, I've never liked you. We're moving on. It's not a Jeremy Kyle moment here. But I do want you to check in with the areas that you're playing in. Are you hanging out with people that feel in alignment to where you're going and what you're doing? My mum always says this brilliant phrase about radiators and drains. Are you hanging out with the radiators who will bring you heat and you will give them heat, and together you will create this cozy, beautiful atmosphere? Or are you hanging out with the drains who want to talk about the weather or how tired they are or how, oh, it's this and I think there's another wave coming and and all this kind of stuff? Do you want to hang out with people who make decisions, who actually get stuff done? Or do you want to hang out with people who procrastinate and just stay in the same place time and time again? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being comfortable or repetition or finding your flow and your own way of doing things. But you know those people in your life, like Matt's got a mate, who maybe I shouldn't be putting this on the internet, but Matt's got a mate and he's probably been writing the same film for about 15 years. And he's just talking about it. And I have no interest in this film any longer because I'm like, come on, mate, get this film written. Like, you can do this. So really checking in with the areas that you're hanging out in. And this might be a point where you go, I've got to leave that Facebook group. It is driving me up the wall. Or why are people asking in my DMs for all the free advice? Or what is it about me that's showing that I'm available for those things? Because, we have to look at ourselves sometimes. And I've often found that in business where sometimes I've left a situation or there's been an exchange and I've come away from it and gone, that didn't feel good. And I always have to come to me first. Like, why didn't that feel good? What happened there where that end result became as such? And sometimes it's like, the thing was, Raby, you didn't put the boundary in place. You said it was okay when it wasn't. I've had to learn a lot of lessons over the years. But there are those moments sometimes where I have to go, I wasn't clear. I didn't say what I meant in the email. So I want you to be aware of those things. Are you showing up in a way that you want to and that's useful and all that good stuff? Moving on to organisation and communication and actually making those decisions. One of my absolute bugbears is people in WhatsApp trails or email trails that can't make a decision. Hiya, does anybody want to do this? I can't do Saturday. What about Thursday? I was thinking about doing Friday. I can only do Friday if it's at 11. All of those things. And, maybe it's because, I don't know. I'm just really intolerant of that kind of stuff. So that has given me the sense that I've got to be clear in communication. I know that thing of like back and forth, is it this, is it that? That's why I'm like, let's just have a conversation. Are you free? We can do this on the phone right now. Rather than going, oh, so-and-so's on holiday. This is what's happening. They'll come back to you next week. Let's square some circles. All that jargon. So I want you to think about, are you being organised? Is your communication really clear? Are you making decisions? So one of the things that my coach says to me is working with the universe. So at this point, you might be like, hello, Nikki, what's going on? We're not going spiritual, are we? What we're saying? But let me just give you an example. Sorry, I'm just going to talk about it anyway. But when people say, I'm going to ask the universe for this, I'm going to ask the universe for some more clients. Great. But the universe is like, it's like a breakdancing thing. The universe is like, come on then. I'm doing this like, you can't even see me, but I'm shimmering my shoulders here. The universe is like, come on then. Are you going to do a Facebook Live? Are you going to tell people that you've got availability? I'm doing some clicks and some jigging. Are you going to do that? And then you might be like, no, I don't want to do that. I've just asked the universe for more clients. That's really rude. Oh my goodness, I never get what I want. So my coach always says to me, you ask the universe, then you take a step, then the universe takes a step. You ask again, you do something, the universe takes a step. It's one of those where you're jigging along together. You're not just going, oi, universe, can you send us some clients? And then you're like, anyway, I'm off back to bed. I'm going to have a little rest today. It's not about that. It is about really connecting, like where, what are you doing? What are you doing? Sorry to sound harsh, but are you making the moves? Are you actually moving forward with this? And are you coming up with something? So it might be that moment of like, I really need to look into getting a VA, for example. Is that something that you've been saying for yonks and yonks? Do you actually need to do the thing? Can you send the email? Can you reach out? Can you do the thing today? What's on that hanging about for way too long list, basically? I've got 3 more. What are you not doing? Ooh, what are you not doing? Where is that fear or insecurity or uncertainty taking over? So sometimes there's things that I go, I should be doing that. I should be doing that. I should make that a priority. No wonder that's not happening. So I used to be like this with exercise. I'd be like, right, today I'm going to go running, but not this morning because I'm definitely tired. I'll probably go in the evening, and then it would get to the evening and it'd be cold and it'd be dark. I'd be like, well, I'm not going to do that. And time again, I wouldn't bet on myself. I wouldn't make it a priority. So I have to get really clear that actually, if I want to get to where I want to get to, it's going to require some action from me. Like, nobody gets to skip the work. I'm going to have to put some wheels in motion. I'm actually going to have to bet on myself and do the thing. Annoyingly. Next. So what are you not doing? What do you need to do more of? Are you sharing other people's stories? Are you just going on social media and going, nobody liked my post today. Nobody liked it. Why is nobody sharing my work? Why am I not getting any opportunities? What are you doing? Are you giving back? Are you in a like a throwing and catching situation? Check in with those things. Second to last, systems and boundaries. What's your system? Are you going round and round the houses? Are you doing something more than once that you're like, why have I done that 98 times? When actually I just need to create the system or create the template and do it once and get it sorted. Are you being too accommodating? Are you saying, I don't mind, we'll think about this, maybe this will happen, all this stuff. I want you to check in with your systems and your boundaries as well. Again, it's absolutely fine to be lovely and to be kind and to be all those great qualities that you want to have. I always want to work with nice people. I want to work with people that I get on with. I don't want to work with clients that I don't like. It rarely ever happens. It's not an alignment to me. But therefore, it is really important for me to have boundaries as well. And sometimes that just looks like me saying, I've seen your message. I can't look at it right now. I'll be back in an hour. And sometimes it's just holding that space rather than that panic of going, oh my goodness, they've emailed me. I've got to do this, this, and this. Sorry, 2 more. 1 is self-care. Are you giving yourself self-care? What does it actually look like? Are you taking care of yourself? And the first thing that you might say is, no, Nikki, actually, I'm really tired. I'm really burnt out. And 2020 has kicked my ass and I've had enough. And I get that. Absolutely. So my question, I guess, in that moment is, but what could you do? Or what small thing would make all the difference? Because we can all wait for that perfect day when we have 2 weeks in Bali, like just sitting, reading a book, or, a weekend spa day. But none of those things will probably happen for a while. So in the meantime, what are those small incremental daily actions? And I'm saying daily because I don't believe that self-care should be just treated to a Sunday or just holidays. I want to think about those daily small things that you can do. What are those and how can you prioritize them? Do you need to ask somebody like, when this happens, I need you to do this, this, and this. When I'm in this situation, if you could do this, it would be really helpful. So really consider and prioritize that self-care. You have to start with a full cup. Even if sometimes you're like, oh, I don't have loads in there, but how can I just, top it up a tiny bit? The final thing, what's your lasting impression? People will always say that phrase, like, it's oh, wow, I'm just going to butcher it, I'm sorry. People remember how you made them feel. And I'm a big advocate of that. You want people I always have this thing that I always want to leave people in a better way than I found them. So I want to make people smile. I want people to feel good about themselves. I want them to feel like they're in safe company. I want people to feel like they're heard, they're understood, that they're worthy, that they're valued, that what they have to say is of importance. So I want you to think about, what are your values? What are the lasting impressions that you want to give? So there's a lot there. Also, my washing machine has started going wild in the background. I'm so sorry if you can hear that, but I hope you got lots from today. I am opening up some spaces in your personal brand plan. It's mine, but it's yours. It's a year-long program that can be done in 12 weeks, but you have a year to do it. And also, there's so many resources that you can do independently, but you have my support. So it's a 4-stage program. You meet me after stage 1, after stage 2, after stage 3, and after stage 4. And it's a really robust, brilliant program that's going to help you grow your brand. The 4 pillars, I guess, is what you could call them, are helping you to monetize that personal brand. So starting with planning, like, what do you want to build? What kind of business do you want to build? What do you need it to do? What's going to be in alignment with your goals, your circumstances, your personality? What does that look like? Secondly, how can you package up your services? I have been really discerning over the years and really had to check in with, like, how do I want to work? What's going to be the best use of my time? What's the best way of my skills in the way I show up? The third is about presenting it. There's absolutely no point having a brilliant business idea and having a beautiful website if nobody ever sees it. I want you to get used to being visible online, in person, really showing up and telling people what you do, and I can help you with that. The 4th stage is about propelling. So where are you going to take your personal brand? What legacy are you building? How do you attract those bigger opportunities that you want? How do you become an expert in your field? I want you to consider all of those things. So if you're interested, you can go to nikkiraby.com/your personal brand plan. And also on there, you will find an option on the free session page, nikkiraby.com/free session. You can book a free session with me. You can book in to talk about one-to-one stuff. Maybe you want to join this program and have my support for a little bit longer. The reason also, FYI, that I have added the one-on-one support is because I want you to actually do the program. I want you to actually do the things. I don't want it just to be another thing that you purchase and you're like, great, I've ticked that off my list. Self-development for the year, brilliant. I want you to go, oh my goodness, I'm actually going to do this thing. Oh, I've done stage 1. Right, I'm going to book in my time with Nikki. I want you to do what you say that you're going to do. So if you have questions, please don't sit on this. Please don't just go, 2020, I'll think about it next year. We never do our best work on New Year's Day, do we? We're all about 49% cheese. It's cold, it's dark, we're maybe hungover, we've gone to bed late. Don't start on January the 1st. If you want to have a really great first half of the year next year, and second, of course, start thinking about these things now. Be ahead of the game, be prepared, because most people won't be. That's the thing. Most people will go, oh, right, here we go, another year, right, I better set some goals. I can support you with this. I'm a qualified life coach, kids. Like, I know how to do this stuff. So if you're interested, all the details are down below. I hope today's been useful. If it has, I would love it if you rate, review, subscribe, and maybe screenshot and share it on your stories or send it to somebody. Any love of any shape or form is all welcome. So thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you all my love and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye.